Good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you live. Figured I'd get started like 5 minutes early. So we'll wait a couple minutes for some people to get in here. I know a lot of you are probably at work right now or at school, um, which is fine. If you guys are watching this later, I do appreciate it. I really just wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys about things that I'm going to be looking for in this Phoenix Suns Los Angeles Lakers preseason game from live from Las Vegas, by the way. And I know that it's just preseason. Who cares, Suns Geek? Nobody cares. Well, I care, and I have things that I want to talk about that I feel like are really important. So I appreciate everybody that's being here. Um, RN Gamers here. I hope I said your name right. David Wilborn's here. Good morning. And what's up, John? How you doing, bro? Miss you, man. So good morning, good afternoon, evening, depending on where you live. Yes, sir. So I appreciate everybody that's being here. I just got done drinking some coffee out of my M&M's mug that I got a long time ago. Got a little bit of water right here. And yeah, we're going to get started in like a little bit. Like I said, things that I do want to talk about. And I'm going to introduce kind of a new quote segment called Quotes and Notes. Now, I can't really do this in the post-game shows, but the pre-game shows, I'm going to be doing a quotes and notes segment. And then before I went live, I was watching my guy Hawks Hoops video. He's on TikTok and YouTube. Hawks Hoops, check him out. He did like a hot takes video. So if you guys have any hot takes, whether it's about the Suns or just the NBA in general, let me know, and maybe we'll do that at the very, very end. And I want to show you guys a video that went viral yesterday too, an NBA video that went viral, and I'd like to show you guys that. Also, you guys, keep in mind, I will be live later tonight to obviously recap the game, react to the game, give my thoughts. So stay tuned for that. So if you're watching this later, I really appreciate it. And once again, stay tuned because I will be live later tonight to talk about the Suns Lakers game. D Nice says good morning, Geek. Well, good morning to you guys. It's late afternoon here. Almost 1:00 where I'm at. And yeah. Before we get started, my friend Jonathan Carter says, doing good, bro. How are you liking the Zoa energy drinks? Been watching the TV series Legacy, the true story of the LA Lakers that's been sponsored on Hulu. Yes, so this live stream is sponsored by Zoa energy drinks and by Hulu. No, I'm just kidding. No, those Zoa energy drinks, I actually seriously highly recommend. My friend Jonathan introduced me to them, and they are super delicious and they are good for you. Even though they are energy drinks, they are very good for you. But you guys aren't here for that. You guys don't care about that. Let's talk some Suns Lakers. Okay. Let's start with what I'll be looking for. Or really, I guess I should have titled it what I'll be watching. But you know what? What I'll be looking for. I feel like this is pretty simple, you guys. And I know that there's a lot of body language police out there. I guess I'm one of those people as well. Body language and effort to start. Obviously we were embarrassed in front of the entire world by the Adelaide 36ers. And I feel like we really need to bounce back strong. I don't care if this is a preseason game, which, by the way, I cannot say this enough. It is in Las Vegas. So there's going to be people there, lots of people, and there's going to be lots of people watching despite it being preseason. And body language and effort, that's really all I want to see. I just really, from the jump, I want to see effort. I don't care if DeAndre Ayton and Devin Booker and Chris Paul are getting 22 minutes or 25 minutes. I want some effort. I want great body language and really just overall engagement. That's one thing I really want to look out for in this game. And I think it might have been AZ Central that wrote this, and I'm going to quote them here. So this is kind of a quotes and notes segment here. So I guess I'll pop that little thing up here. If the Suns come out flat again, don't defend at a higher level, and lack energy, they didn't learn from Sunday's upset. and something is wrong with them as a group. Now, that's not my quote. I think it's a Arizona Central's quote. But I really liked that. I took that like personally when that was written. And appreciate you guys all being here. Once again, you guys, going live later tonight, but I really just wanted to come on here and just talk to you guys about some things. I'll try to get to everybody's questions or comments. And like I said, at the very end of this stream, let me know your NBA hot takes or your Phoenix Suns hot takes. I would really like to know. And yeah, Felix says pregame. Yeah, pregame, man. I want to do more of these. That's another thing. If I didn't mention it earlier, I really want to start doing more of these. I did like a couple of them last year, but this year I really want to do more of them. So fingers crossed on that. I hope I can. So look forward to that. Sorry, guys, I'm having some technical difficulties here. All right. Anyways, let's move on here. Also, kind of like last game, I want to see what the newcomers are going to look like. I thought that Jock Landale had a really solid preseason game. I think he finished the game with like 12 and 6. Now, he did miss like all of his threes, but I liked his engagement. I liked his work in the post, even though there were a lot of times where the Phoenix Suns didn't find the ball for him, in my opinion. But I thought he played very, very well. So I hope that he gets more minutes. We didn't see too much out of Damian Lee. Somebody in the comments section mentioned Dwayne Washington Jr. Yeah, Abraham right here says, want to see Dwayne Washington Jr. By the way, that dude's got a long wingspan and he can shoot, sort of a low-key microwave. So yeah, I'm really excited to see him as well. But yeah, just see what these new guys can do, because right now, the narrative around the Phoenix Suns is that their bench is going to be very bad. That remains to be seen. I thought Cameron Payne had a pretty solid game, 23 points in like 20-something minutes, but he does need a little bit of help. And I think Monty Williams needs to actually play our bench in order for us to see that. Now, obviously, I do think our bench was a lot better last year than it is this year, which is exactly the reason why I wasn't a fan of us running it back and everything. But you guys get my point. That remains to be seen. We'll have to see if the Phoenix Suns bench is good or not. So I'm really going to be looking forward to the newcomers. And that also brings me to my next point. Dario Saric needs to play. I don't understand why he didn't play at all against the Adelaide 36ers. Maybe because he did play a lot of Eurobasket this summer, so maybe Monty Williams was giving him an extra night off. I would have at least played him 5 minutes, because you're out there warming up anyways. You might as well go get a little bit of a run in, but what do I know? I'm not a professional head coach. Shout out to my guy Philly Take with RB, #1 hotspot for Suns content. Support this show and hit the like button. Yes. How did I start off the show without reminding you guys to do that? Hulk smash that like button, you guys. Just absolutely destroy it. Make sure to subscribe, and I would really appreciate it. But at the end of the day, you guys, the best way to support this channel is just to keep watching. And as my guy Philly Take with RB once mentioned on his channel, which, by the way, go check him out. He is awesome. Great content. Everything Philadelphia 76ers and a little bit of Eagles in there. He does great content. Go check him out. He's a great guy too. But Philly Take with RB said this a long time ago. He said, if you want to know about like the 10th man on the roster or the 11th man, this is the channel for you. And that's how this is here on Suns Geek. So if you guys are a first time watcher or you're newly subscribing, that's what you're going to get on this channel. You're going to learn about that stuff. You're going to learn about the assistant coaches, anything Phoenix Suns. It's going to be on this channel. So I appreciate the love, RB. I appreciate you, man. All right, let's see. So Dario Saric, overall, he needs to play, man. That's how I look at it. Even if it's just 10 minutes. I know that doesn't seem like a lot, but when you're actually out on the court, 10 minutes is a lot of minutes in a preseason game. Now, if I'm correct, Monty Williams did say that I think he's going to play the starters a little bit more. So remember, it's only a 48-minute game. But I do feel like you could get a lot of Dario Saric in there. And I'm not saying we would have won the game if Dario Saric played. A lot of the whole thing with the Phoenix Suns losing was like, oh, we only played our starters like 22 minutes, which is true. I can't be a hypocrite. I can't lie about that. We probably would have won if they would have played like 30 minutes, but I still think we got embarrassed. And I still think it is a little bit of a big deal, whether or not it's preseason. So it's going to be interesting. Now, there's a comment in here, if I can find it, about Cameron Johnson. Here we go. Shout out to my guy, Eric, who says, do you think Cam Johnson is better as a starter or off the bench? Great question, Eric. And this kind of does tie into what we're talking about here, about what I'll be looking for, what I'll be watching in tonight's game. So thank you so much for the great question, Eric. This also remains to be seen, but I really like this stat right here. I think I still have it. Let me pull it up. It was like Cam Johnson's numbers as a starter last year in 16 games. Let me see if I can find it. I might have deleted it, and I probably should have kept it handy. But either way, I don't remember the stat off the top of my head, but like in 16 games last year, want to say he averaged maybe close to 17 points. His numbers were great. It's somewhere on the internet. I've talked about it on this channel before. Cam Johnson last year in like 16 starts played very, very well. And I'm glad I have these numbers up because this was in the Adelaide 36ers game. He did play 22 minutes. He didn't have the greatest performance, although he did have 3 assists, 3 rebounds, and he had a nice little, like he came off the weak side and had a nice little putback dunk. So it remains to be seen. But either way, Cam Johnson's starting, you guys, which is really exciting because you know Cam Johnson is a lethal shooter, and he's still growing, and he's still becoming a solid NBA player, you guys. He's more than just a great shooter. I actually think he's really underrated on defense, which I will talk about that later because, by the way, to my knowledge, Anthony Davis is playing later, and I have some thoughts on that. So I'm really excited to see what Cam Johnson is going to do this season. And another thing I love about Cam Johnson is he just loves Phoenix. He loves being part of the Phoenix Suns, and that's the kind of guy you want. He's so mature for his age. He's really well-spoken. So I really love Cam Johnson. Really looking forward to bright things from him in his future. And yeah. Abraham says, Abraham says, in my opinion, in order for the Suns to be contenders again, they need to trade for a scoring 6 man. Exactly. Crowder and Shamet for Clarkson, and let Dwayne Washington take Shamet's spot. I'll just say this. I'm not against trading for Jordan Clarkson, but for the right price. And I'm not disagreeing with you, and I'm not agreeing with you. We'll see. By the way, you guys, I know that a lot of people like to pick on Landry Shamet, and rightfully so. He did have a very bad season last year. I'll just say this. His contract is not as bad as you guys think. That's all I'm going to say. All right. I'll get to more comments in a little bit because I see you guys are in here engaging, and I really appreciate it. Just the fact that you guys are watching me right now talk about a preseason game. You guys are awesome. Let me get my notes back up here. So, yeah. Let's dive into it. So we were talking about Cam Johnson and the defense and everything. So this sort of brings up my next topic here. And we'll talk a little bit about the Lakers here because they did just play last night, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. Who guards Anthony Davis tonight? Let me know in the comments. I really want to know. Who do you guys think is going to guard Anthony Davis? Now, on paper, it's Cameron Johnson. But you can maybe slide Deandre Ayton in there because what's one thing Deandre Ayton is great at is defense. Cam Johnson would probably have to switch over to, you would assume, Damian Jones, who, by the way, is a former Phoenix Sun, so I'm sure that they've guarded each other in practice before. I would like to see Cameron Johnson try to guard Davis for a few possessions. And I would probably overanalyze those defensive possessions. You guys know what I mean? I would like to see that. But I wonder if they're going to play it safe and get Deandre Ayton on Anthony Davis. Now, for those of you who missed the Lakers game last night, I didn't watch it. I had it on in the background because I got like a TV right here. But I did watch like the maybe first 5 minutes of it, and then I went back and I watched some of the highlights. Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Russell Westbrook only played in 16 minutes. I thought Anthony Davis looked fine. He had one possession in particular, which was probably his highlight of the game, where he had a mouse in the house on De'Aaron Fox, posted him up, turnaround, fadeaway jumper, and Sabonis actually went over to contest, and he still drained the shot. So it was a nice play. He also had a couple open threes, which I do want to talk about that in a minute. He looked a little tired on one possession when he was running back. It was either that or he was just taking the play off. Maybe he was just taking it easy because it is preseason. Here's one thing I will say, though, is a lot of the Lakers. Now, again, it's just one preseason game. I'm not a Lakers expert. What do I know? But they did have a good shooting night. Like Kendrick Nunn looked pretty good. Russell Westbrook looked pretty good. Anthony Davis had a lot of moments where he picked and popped, and he had a couple open threes. The Suns got to be careful with that tonight. I feel like if the Suns, this all goes back to what I was talking about earlier. If the Suns have bad body language, the effort isn't there, if they're a little shaky on defense, that could be a problem. Even if Anthony Davis plays 16, 17, 18 minutes, he hit like 3 threes in that game, maybe more. So they got to be careful with the Anthony Davis pick and pop. Plus, LeBron James didn't hit a field goal, but he still had like 4 points because he went to the free throw line. He didn't play that much. He had a bad game. But again, Russell Westbrook had a pretty good game. Kendrick Nunn had a good game. They have some guys on their bench who are probably going to look really good against the Phoenix Suns tonight. So they got to be careful. I don't care if it's preseason. I don't care if we're going up against the Adelaide 36ers or the Los Angeles Lakers or the Golden State Warriors or my old high school team. Defend, defend, defend. Monty Williams, I think, even talked about it. Perimeter defense. Get guys off the three-point line. Make them drive to the lane and get a tough shot. Send them to the foul line. I don't care. Defend, defend, defend. I would be preaching that right now if I were Monty Williams, man. But what do I know? All right, let's get to some comments here. And then after we read some comments, I'm going to talk about Deandre Ayton. Thank you guys to everybody that's in here, by the way. All right, let's see. I hope I'm saying this name right. Merrick says, basically, they're testing their players in order to see their weaknesses and strengths. I actually really like this comment. That's exactly what preseason's for. That's exactly what training camp is for. Love that comment. 100%. I 100% agree with you. And that's why I'm excited to see guys like Dwayne Washington Jr., Jock Landale, Damian Lee, even Dario. Even though we all know what Dario can do, I'm excited to see him, man. So, yeah, I agree with you. You guys are funny in the comments section. Suns Orbit says, Monty said he wants to give everyone a lot of minutes. That's why he didn't play some of the guys. And I talked about that in my live stream, I think the other night. Monty Williams said he wishes that he had 18 guys, because right now I think we're at 16. Because he just loves players, and he knows that all these guys deserve a boatload of minutes. So you're exactly right. But I still think Dario should have played. Cam is a better starter. He averaged 16 points per game as a starter, better than Crowder. Yep, that still remains to be seen, but you are right. And look, guys, I know that Jay Crowder is not I know that Jay Crowder isn't a popular subject right now. I know a lot of Suns fans are probably heated with him, but I think the Suns are going to look different without Jay Crowder. They are going to miss a lot of elements of his game, his veteran leadership, his toughness. He can be a streaky shooter at times. Speaking of Jay Crowder, would you be against Crowder coming back? I wouldn't be against it, but he's not going to come back unless, like, somehow magically they work things out. It would be super awkward, and I don't know what it would look like on the court, but I wouldn't be against it, no. But at this point, I just think there's just too much damage done, and Hashtag Suns Geek. What position would you play Dario with Jock doing as good in his first game with us? That's a good question, David. I would say you probably got to play him at power forward because, I mean, you got Bismack coming off. You got to assume he's probably the second string center. Jock Landale's third, although that could flip flop. And I wouldn't mind that. If Jock Landale can look the way he did in the Adelaide 36ers game, that would be fine with me if he can keep up that consistency and, effort and getting 10 and 6, which that's not going to happen, but you guys know what I mean. So probably power forward. And Dario, I'm just so excited to see what he can bring to this team because I thought he had a pretty good Eurobasket, how do I say this? Eurobasket time, over the summer. He looked pretty well. There were some games where he struggled and he got played off the court, but I thought he looked pretty good in Eurobasket. Yes, I did see the ESPN stuff. I'll talk about that later. But I appreciate the comment. DeAndre Ayton for sure should guard Anthony Davis. Everybody Hulk smash that like button, says Alpha Bite Music. Well, I appreciate you being here, Alpha Bite Music. I've seen you in the last few streams. You're always a good engagement on here. I appreciate you, man. He says, stoked for tonight. Me too, man. Even though it's preseason, it's in Las Vegas. It's a little bit different, like the environment. There's like more people there, and I'm not gonna lie, I might have a beer tonight. I might have a beer. We'll see. All right. Last comment, and then we'll continue on here. Suns Orbit says, preach on Suns Geek. Well, thank you, Suns Orbit. I appreciate you. Go follow Suns Orbit on Instagram, by the way. Just search Suns Orbit or Suns _ Orbit and check them out. All right. Anyways, let's move on here. Let me take a sip of my water, and then we're going to talk DeAndre Ayton. All right. Shout out to Damon Allred for this stat here. In the 2021-22 regular season, DeAndre Ayton was 95 for 101 on dunks, which was 1.64 dunks per game, 88 games. In his 22 minutes of action in the preseason game, he totaled 4 dunks, finishing with 22 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, 0 turnovers on 11 for 14 shooting. So let me just recap what I said real quick. Last season, DeAndre Ayton was 95 for 101 on dunks with 1.64 dunks per game. In just 22 minutes last game, he had 4 dunks, 22 points, 6 boards, 2 assists, and 0 turnovers. Damon also goes on to say he needs to show Monty Williams and his teammates that he can be aggressive and focused every night. Do that, and Ayton will be one of the league's top centers. Which, in my opinion, he is already one of the top centers, but I get what Damon was saying. There's elevation that can happen. There's growth that can happen. I think it's this simple, you guys. And this isn't really putting, in my opinion, this is not putting unrealistic expectations on Ayton. Let me repeat that. This is not putting unrealistic expectations on Ayton. This is just putting like standards on him. This is just putting like a little bit of high expectations up there. This is what DeAndre Ayton himself should be expecting himself to do every night. These should be his standards alone. I'm not saying he needs to be like Wilt Chamberlain and average like 30 and 15 every night or 30 and 22 and, 5 blocks in there. I'm not saying that. But exactly how Damon put it. 22 points. Let's say 10 boards, maybe 11. That's fair. You can get 10 rebounds. What did Andre Drummond average like the past couple of years? Like close to 14 rebounds? Someone correct me if I'm wrong. 2 assists, 0 turnovers in just 22 minutes. I can't wait to see what DeAndre Ayton's going to do when he has like 40 minutes under his belt. But it wasn't just that. It's not just the numbers. because I think there was a nice article who I think Damon might have wrote it, all on Bright Side of the Sun. Go check it out. I would pull it up, but I don't want to like get copyrighted for the highlights and everything. But Deandre Ayton just looked so calm. He looked so aggressive in the right way. I mean, he had some of those flush down dunks. He was nice out there, man. He was aggressive in the paint. His hands looked good. He didn't look hesitant. And like even when he missed a jump shot, it looked nice, man. So I'm excited. I just really wanted to talk about Deandre Ayton right there because this is a big season. Now, my point that I was trying to get with the whole unrealistic expectations thing and the standards that he should hold for himself is that he needs to prove, he needs to show us, Phoenix Suns fans, and the Phoenix Suns organization, James Jones, Monty Williams, etc., even to the ball boy, you know what I mean? He needs to show us that he was worth the extension, that he is worth the whatever $100 million he's getting for the next 4 or 5 years or whatever it is. So I wish you the best, Deandre Ayton. And let me pull this up real quick. Speaking of Deandre Ayton, I'm not going to lie, this was kind of cool. So shout out to Deandre. Let me pull up. Let me share my screen real quick. Why can't I present screen? No, I don't want to share the present screen. Hold on. Basically, yeah, okay, share screen. They changed the name. I was like, what the heck's going on? So here's my Twitter. Let me pull up the tweet first. And I'll show you guys. Basically, Deandre Ayton retweeted one of my tweets. And then Puma Hoops, the shoe company, the brand, retweeted my tweet, which was, or they quote tweeted my tweet, which was awesome. So here is, where's the Deandre Ayton one? Let me go to Deandre Ayton's Twitter first. All right, here we go. So here's my Twitter. Sorry, this is a little segue that we're doing right now. Let me get the full screen up. That's my Twitter. Go follow me on Twitter, by the way, at Suns Geek. So here's Deandre Ayton's Twitter. Click that. Sorry, guys. One-man show here. So yeah, look. He retweeted my tweet. I posted a video of him getting buckets pregame, and then he slaps hands with the fans. He doesn't slap fans. He slaps hands with fans. Shows them some love, man. That was cool. He retweeted my tweet. And by the way, Deandre Ayton does see the stuff that we're all talking about him. He sees all the Instagram stuff. He sees all this stuff on Twitter. Who knows if he watches us on YouTube, but I wouldn't put it behind him. So Deandre Ayton, if you're watching, I wish you the best. I hope you're an all-star this year, man. I really do. So yeah, then Puma Hoops, going back to my Twitter, which by the way, again, follow me on Twitter. Where's the Puma Hoops tweet? Sorry, I retweet a lot of stuff if you can't tell. Here's the Puma Hoops tweet. They quote tweeted that tweet saying, nah, these pregame trick shots getting too easy at Deandre Ayton. So that's pretty awesome. Just wanted to show you guys that. A little bit of a segue that we had there. Excuse me. All right. So now that that's out of the way, once again, shout out to Puma Hoops and to Deandre Ayton for doing that. Again, I will get to some comments and stuff in a minute here because I see you guys are engaging, and I really do appreciate it. If you guys are just joining, we're nearly 30 minutes in. Do me a huge favor. Destroy that like button. Share this stream. Again, I will be live later tonight to recap, react, give my thoughts on the Suns-Lakers game, and I would appreciate it if you guys could swing by. And again, the best way to continue to support me is just to keep watching because you guys are all awesome. All right. Nestor says, what time is the game? So I'm in a different place. It's 9 o'clock my time. So maybe like 7 Arizona time, 7 Las Vegas time, because it is in Las Vegas tonight. Anyways, let's go to a new little segment that I'm calling Quotes and Notes. Some things I want to read to you guys, and then we're going to listen to something that Monty Williams said too. We're going to listen to that in a minute here. So speaking of Deandre Ayton, here was one of his quotes recently. Let me just take a sip of my water and I'll read it to you guys. Next time I'll get the actual quote like in text form and have it on here, but just wanted to read it to you guys. So here's what Deandre Ayton said about the Adelaide 36ers loss. Flush it down quickly and move on, which I think the great late Cotton Fitzsimmons said that a long time ago. This is preseason. We're still learning at the end of the day. It's unacceptable, but at the same time, we're just getting back and we're just trying to polish up some things to get ourselves better. He's not wrong, and he's absolutely right on that it is unacceptable that they lost. With all due respect to Adelaide 36ers, with all due respect. More quotes and notes. Monty Williams said that they knew the 36ers could shoot the ball, but the Suns didn't run them off the three-point line to force a 2-point attempt after a hot start. By the way, if you guys didn't know, Craig Randall, Robert Franks, and Antonius Cleveland combined for 89 points and drained 18 out of 31 threes. That's insane. Let me read you that last note real quick. Monty Williams said they knew the 36ers could shoot the ball, but they didn't run them off the three-point line to force a 2-point attempt after a hot start. Yikes. I find that concerning. I know it was the first preseason game, and I know that Ayton said, we're still trying to polish some things and get ourselves better, but yikes. Anyways, so that leads into this next quote. I like this quotes and notes segment. I'm going to do this a lot. Every time I do a pregame and maybe some after games, because there might be a quote from practice that I can get in here. We're going to do this quotes and notes thing. Listen to Monty Williams right here. Habits, stamina. I said to the guys, they're probably scratching their head every time I come up with another phrase, which is funny. But our habits have to go up. In transition defense, we've got to be a better communicating team on the backside. The ability to contest shots without fouling. I love that last part, Monty Williams. The ability to contest shots without fouling. What did I say at the very, very start of this show? Well, like 10 minutes in. Defense, defense, defense. Make these guys get off the three-point line and go in for a basket. I don't care if they're 100% from the mid-range. Get them off the line. Make them hit some tough shots. Foul them if you have to. Let them go in for the lane and just foul. I don't care, man. Defense, defense, defense. That's why I feel like these quotes are really important and what Monty Williams said. And God, I will never forget that quote that Monty Williams said. Not the one I just read to you, but the one where he said they knew the 36ers could shoot the ball, but they didn't run them off the three-point line. I hope they know a lot about the Los Angeles Lakers, and I hope that they stick to that game plan. But what do I know, right? Let me take a sip of my water. All right. Now you guys are actually going to be able to listen to something instead of my voice. Here is what now the drama in Phoenix continues. Am I right? And by drama, I'm just being over dramatic when I say that. So shout out to Dwayne Rankin from Arizona Central, Arizona Republic. I don't know if it was Dwayne that asked the question because Monty Williams did say he doesn't want to be asked anymore about the Ayton stuff that's going. Oh God, we got the bots in here again. He said he doesn't want to be asked about that stuff. Thank you guys for saying bots. You guys are funny. But yeah, so somebody asked him if him and Ayton have talked. Now let's listen to what Monty Williams had to say about that, because this is interesting. Now, I haven't heard the full quote yet. I read a little bit of it, but here's what Monty Williams had to say on if him and Ayton have spoken yet, which I have some thoughts, but here we go.
Just because those guys have the ability to create space for him and pick him up.
Have you had a chance to sit down and talk to Ayton yet?
I coach Deandre every day in practice.
I coach Deandre every day in practice.
Talking about every time I sit down and talk with somebody, I'm not going to address it or make a statement about it. I coach him hard every day in practice. You see he's here getting his work in. Like, that's what we expect of our guys. Talking about whether or not I talk to the guy, I think it's kind of sensitive.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about more of a long sit down, just air some things out.
We don't need to air anything out. That's my point. I'm not going to keep addressing that. It's like he's the player, I'm the coach, just like with Book and Chris and Miguel. D8 gets his work in every day. He's at 22 and 12 in 20 minutes. Those are the kind of things that we expect from him. I don't need to sit down and talk about it.
Okay, let's just play like the last 30 seconds of this clip again.
I'm talking about more of a long sit down, just air some things out.
We don't need to air anything out. That's my point. I'm not going to keep addressing that. It's like he's the player, I'm the coach, just like with Book and Chris and Miguel. D8 gets his work in every day. He's at 22 and 12 in 20 minutes. Those are the kind of things that we expect from him. I don't need to sit down and talk about it.
Okay. So he's not wrong. So I'm assuming that they have actually spoken, which again, I talked about this like last week. It's just so weird that like they apparently haven't talked since game 7, but you're in the locker room. You had media day, you had training camp. Obviously they have talked, but the reporter was like, okay, well, like, did you guys like get in a room and air things out and everything? Monty didn't exactly answer that, if I'm correct. Like, I just wish one of them would say, yeah, we've talked. Leave us alone. The drama's over. We're good. That's all you got to say, Monty Williams. I mean, he made a good point. Like, oh, I coach him and he had 22 and 6 or whatever. You guys know what I mean. So it was a good answer. It was a professional. Monty Williams isn't a rookie head coach. He knows what he's doing. But it's just so awkward. And again, it wasn't Dwayne Rankin who asked the question because, again, Monty Williams said, like, I'm done talking about this. Stop asking me. So that must have been like an outside reporter, with all due respect to him. But still a little awkward. I just wish one of them will say, yeah, we hashed it out. We're good. You know what I mean? Shout out to Suns Orbit for the nice comment. Here's all the Suns YouTubers better than the Suns Geek. Pause. Thanks for watching. No one's better than Suns Geek. Well, thanks for the nice words, man. Again, just the fact that you guys are watching me is very flattering, and I'm humbled by it. And I know that there's a lot of Suns podcasters out there and a lot of great Suns content, but you guys are all awesome. I appreciate you guys being here. Shout out to my guy Hawks Hoops. I gave you a shout out at the start of the stream, man. Go check out Hawks Hoops on TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, all that fun stuff. He just uploaded a video. And in that video, one of his hot takes that somebody said was that the Suns are going to be an 8 seed. And he even disagreed with that. So go check him out, man. He does great content over there. Let's see. All right. Some final thoughts here, and then we'll get out of here. Just so you guys know, the Lakers have lost 7 straight preseason games, including last season, in a row. For anybody who cares. By the way, my lighting looks terrible right now. It's because like the curtains or whatever's open, and I did whatever. Who cares? So before we get out of here, you guys, Let me know your NBA hot takes or Phoenix Suns hot takes. I'd really like to hear them. I'm going to get to a couple more comments, and then I want to show you guys something that Giannis said. I'm sure a lot of you guys probably saw it by now, but I would really like to play it on here. So we're going to get to that in a moment. Let me just sorry, I'm multitasking here. We'll get to that in a moment here. Let me go and find it. And then we'll get to some comments. We'll listen to what Giannis said. And then we'll pretty much get out of here. I mean, I think I've said everything I need to say. Once again, I will be live later tonight. And we will talk about, react, give my thoughts on the Suns-Lakers game after the game. All right, let's see. Eric says, we need perimeter defense for sure. Can the Lakers shoot the three, though? That still remains to be seen, too. To my knowledge, they haven't been a good three-point shooting team the last, or not really three-point shooting, but just a good shooting team in general the last couple seasons. That remains to be seen. Like I said, they did have a pretty good game shooting-wise, and a lot of their guys did look good against the Kings last night. So maybe they'll be tired. Maybe they won't have a great game. Mark Perez says, are you going to miss Crowder overall as a player? Absolutely. I loved Jay Crowder before he was a Phoenix Sun, after, or during, obviously, and even afterwards. He's one of my favorite players in the league. I don't need to tell you guys what he brings to a team each and every single night. Definitely going to miss Jay Crowder. Love Jay Crowder. I wish, apparently the reports, the sources are saying a lot of this is because he wanted a contract extension. He wasn't happy that it wouldn't be starting anymore. That's what's being reported. I just wish he would kind of get off his high horse a little bit and come off the bench, and everything would be right in the world. And, he is on an expiring $10 million contract. And, I don't know. I would bring him back for the right price. So, I don't know. CB says, in my opinion, keep Crowder. I know it's easier said than done. Exactly. But his defense is underrated. Exactly. Have Cam start a year from now. I mean, it'll be a long season and injuries are unpredictable. I agree with you for the most part. I do think Cam Johnson should be starting, but yeah, I agree with you on that. Suns Orbit says Josh Okogie is going to surprise everybody. I'm excited for Josh Okogie, man. That was rough news. Hearing him go down. He won't be playing any preseason, man. Even if he makes like a miraculous, amazing comeback, he's not going to play preseason. But I'm excited for him. Eric says Ayton can control rebounds and defend. Always interesting how often they feed him. Yeah, they just need to get him the ball. And I mentioned that with Jock Lundell too. I said there was a lot of times he was in the right position and the Suns didn't get him the ball. So they got to get Deandre Ayton the ball. All right, let's see. Apollo NBA says, can't watch the game because it's going to be 4 a.m. for me. Wow, man. Well, thank you for watching from wherever you're watching. Suns Geek. Is it unrealistic to say Suns stats like Paul, 16 points and 13 assists, Booker, 27, 5 and 5, Bridges, 15 points? That's not unreal. Well, maybe the Paul thing is. 13 assists per game. Didn't he average like 10 last season? I can't see him being 13. But I think the rest of those numbers are pretty accurate. You'd maybe want Bridges to get 16 points, but 15's fair. So that's not unrealistic. Let's see. Yeah, so I'll answer one question, and then we'll get to this Giannis quote, and then we'll kind of just close things out. And I've kind of talked about this before, sort of. Shout out to Backcourt Highlights. I always see you in the comment section. I always see you in the streams, and I appreciate you, man. He says, what do you think about signing Carmelo Anthony, Suns Geek? First off, I love Carmelo Anthony. I always have. I cannot repeat this enough. One of the greatest scorers in basketball history. That is a underrated thing about Carmelo Anthony. I think a lot of people overlook that. Can still put the ball in the basket. How he's not on an NBA roster is beyond me. Remember when he was out of the league for a few years and the Blazers were smart and signed him and he had like a really good season? I would love that. I don't know the relationship between Monty Williams and Melo. I don't know the relationship between James Jones and Carmelo Anthony. I don't know how the fit would look, but I know that he can put the ball in the basket. He's a veteran in this league for the right price. And what is Carmelo's price? That's really the thing. What is he willing to take to play for a championship contender like the Suns? But yes, I would love Carmelo Anthony on this team. I would love it. I mean, what, 15 minutes a game, maybe 20? He can at least, what do you guys think he would score, per game? He can put the ball in the basket. He can play. Get him on a team. Get him on the Suns. Let me know what you guys think about that. Suns orbit. I would love Carmelo. He's be such a good fit for the Suns. Exactly. We need him off the bench. Him, Campaign, Sarge would be great. That would be a nice little duo. Especially if Campaign can bounce back from last season. Him, Melo, Sarge, throw someone else in there. That'd be a nice little second unit. Thanks for the engagement right there, guys. All right, let's react to this Giannis clip, and then we'll get out of here. And you know what? I've seen it already in the chat, and I've seen all the mentions from this video. It's real, guys. Like, how can you not dislike, or how do you dislike Giannis? So this comes from Sirius XM Radio, which they do great work. If I'm correct, Suns broadcaster Eddie Johnson's on that show, if I'm correct. So I'm going to share my screen. We're going to react to this video. Once again, shout out to Sirius XM Radio. I feel like this is kind of beyond basketball. So this is a little bit of your daily motivation. If you need like a boost, if you need a little bit of motivation, listen to this clip. Let's watch it together.
It takes more than skills to be great. That's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
You can be the most skillful person on earth, still don't make the NBA. The NBA is not about skills. It takes way more to be. Consistency. LeBron James, 20 years in the league.
Consistency.
When you think about LeBron, you think about consistency. He's been great for 20 years. Think about MJ, Edge, about getting better, obsession. Kobe, obsession. Steph, KD, man, it's not just skills, man.
It's not just skills.
People think it's not just skills, and I can say I'm not the most skillful. I don't have the best shot. I don't have the best dribble. I believe I'm a very good passer, underrated passer. I can create for my teammates, and I think that's my number one talent. But the thing that makes me a step further than people is the obsession and the discipline I have towards the game, not my skills. So yeah.
I mean, that's great, you guys. Like, how can you not? I mean, Giannis is great. Let's be real. That was great. Let me stop sharing my screen real quick. That was great, man. That's like, let's be real. We all have problems and life gets hard. That should be your daily motivation right there. Let's be real. All right. I think I'll get to maybe just a couple more comments and then we'll get out of here. We got about 50 people in here. I appreciate you guys being here. Like I said, if you guys are just watching now, I really do. I'm going to do my best to do more of these pregame shows. Like Giannis just said, consistency. I'm going to be more, and really overall, I'm going to be more consistent with the post-game shows. That's kind of been my Achilles heel on this channel, is the live streams. But this year, I mean, knock on wood, you guys aren't going to have a problem with that. So stay tuned for more live streams and everything. Let's see. Jose says, can the Suns beat that team today? Come on, Monty. Hello, Suns Geek. Well, hello to you, Jose. Suns orbit. He's talking about Carmelo Anthony here. 12. So basically 13 points a game in 18 minutes for Melo is my prediction. That would be amazing. That would be like a bargain, great signing, works out for both sides. I just wonder if it's going to happen, man. Hopefully, James Jones. I hope. I mean, I don't want our Suns bench to struggle, obviously. But if the Suns bench continues to struggle, maybe James Jones will realize it and say, yeah, let's give Melo a chance. At least make an offer, James Jones. Come on, man. Giannis, he literally came from nothing. Exactly. And that's why I love certain NBA players, because a lot of these guys did come from nothing, or they came from hard times, or they came from a rough household. A lot of these, even though these guys are professional basketball players and they make millions of dollars, a lot of these guys are super humble. I've met a lot of NBA players. I've met a lot of past and present Phoenix Suns players. They are really nice people. They don't just do it for the fans. Like, I've actually talked to them and had conversations with them. A lot of them are really good people. Let's see. This is why he's one of my favorite players outside of the Suns. Exactly. And also, he's literally a top 5, top 3 NBA player. He's amazing. Shout out to my guy, Romp 2.0. Tonight is a must win, even though it's preseason. I was texting Romp about this too. It sort of is, isn't it? Like, I'm not trying to be over dramatic. Like, I think the Suns really do have to win this game, or it is just going to get worse. The headlines, the narratives, the stories, the social media posts, the trolling. It's going to be so bad if we lose tonight. So, shout out to my guy, Romp. Go check out his channel. He also has a Sixers channel, Sixers Talk with Romp. Go check him out. He does great. He does great work. Apollo says, do you plan on making a Discord server? Would be really cool. I probably can, but I'm such a noob when it comes to Discord. I have one, but I don't have like my own, but I'm such a noob when it comes to that stuff. I don't even know how to work it. So maybe once I actually understand it, then maybe I will. I know it's popular and all that, but I don't know how to use it really. Eric says, I'm bitter towards Lakers fans who live in AZ. You got to represent where you live. Just me, though? Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, if you're actually from Los Angeles and you're living in LA or living in Phoenix, yeah, but I think for the most part, that's why it's weird. Like, sometimes I'll see like people are like a Suns fan, but they're also like a Cowboys fan. And believe me, that's a thing. It's weird, you know, or I'm a fan of this college football team. I'm like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm from Arizona, you know, like I try to support the Cardinals as much as I can, the D-backs, Coyotes. I mean, I can't name you like 5 Cardinals players. I can't even name you like 2 or 3 D-backs players, but you guys get my point. I try to support them. That's just my personal opinion anyways. Let's see. Suns Orbit says, I had a $50 bet with my mom for this game. Suns, please win. Oh my God. All right, guys. I think that's it. If you guys got any last second comments or anything, any questions, let me know. I think we'll call it though. I think I'm pretty much done. But I appreciate you guys being here. This was a great show. I mean that, guys. Like, we covered a lot in under an hour. And I really feel like there's a lot to take away here. You guys should be excited for tonight's game. Do your best to watch it. Papa Z Patrick says, hi from Chandler, Arizona. Well, thanks for watching, man. I appreciate you being here. Thanks to everybody that was in here. You guys are all awesome. I'm really excited for tonight's game. Gonna be going live, reacting to it. Again, I know that there's a lot of Suns content out there. But just do me a favor, even if you watch afterwards, check out my show later. I'm going to be doing more live streams, pregame and postgame. And depending on what happens in this Lakers game, you guys might get another pregame show for our next preseason game, which is against the Kings or Nuggets or something. Let me see. I got it on my calendar. I'll tell you in 2 seconds who we play next. So it's Monday the 10th. Is our next preseason game after tonight against the Nuggets at 8 p.m. So depending on what happens in this game, you'll probably get a pregame show again. So just a heads up for that. Backcourt highlight says, bye Geek, love the stream and love the content. Go Suns. Well, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. Suns Order says, I'm kidding, by the way. It's a $5 bet. I don't have that money to give away. Hey, me neither, man. I wouldn't want to put $50 on the Suns right now. Romp 2.0 says, Suns Geek grinding. Well, thank you, man. I've been working hard out here. I appreciate you, bro. Nestor Rodriguez, I hope I said your name right, says, thank you for everything you do, Geek. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate you saying that. I really do work hard over here, and you guys are awesome. So I appreciate you guys watching. Once I cannot say this enough, you guys. The best way to support me, even if you're not subscribed, is just to keep watching, please. I love you guys. Thank you for being here. Tony says, I love the show and I have high hopes for the Suns this season. Me too, man. Me too. Championship or bust. That's pretty much where we're at now. Chosen One says, what's up, brother? Always loved watching your vids. Excited about the season. Any idea on a Jay Crowder trade? I appreciate the love, man. I don't know. I really don't. And you know what? When we were watching that Monty Williams clip earlier, this was in like a separate clip. Someone asked him if there was like an update on the Jay Crowder thing. He said, I have no knowledge. I know nothing, which I kind of believe him. I mean, I really do. Like, I don't think anybody knows anything right now. The only person that knows is James Jones in his front office. And even then, I don't think anything's happening today. It could. Let's be real. Like in a couple hours, there could be a Jay Crowder trade, but I don't see anything happening today. But soon, though. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I love you guys. You're all amazing people. Be good to people out there. Be patient. Be kind. See you guys in a little bit. I'll see you guys tonight. Really excited. Going to be drinking a beer. It's going to be a good night. So I'll see you guys later. You guys are all awesome. And God bless you guys. This was a great show. I'm really excited. Stay tuned for more pregame live shows. Stay tuned for more postgame live shows. You're all amazing. God bless and peace out.